what he leaves us.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Mikey's Saturday Nightmares. Alright, second episode. Glad you're with us. If you haven't watched the first episode, jump on back and catch it after you watch this one. Alright? Thank you all so much for joining in with me this evening. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to check out my videos. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's episode. And today's episode is we're going to jump forward a little bit. Last week we did an episode of a movie from 1959 called The Giant Gila Monster. So we're going to jump forward a little bit and we're going to jump into 1979. Now this is a classic to me, in my opinion, from 1979. And it was a film directed by John Frankenheimer. And now, John Frankenheimer also directed such great films as The Island of Dr. Moreau from 1996. He also directed the movie Ronin. And he also directed Reindeer Games. Now, I was not a big fan of Reindeer Games, and Ronin, I have not watched. I've been wanting to watch it, but I just haven't sat down to watch. I actually own it, but I haven't sat down to watch it. The Island of Dr. Moreau, now this was the 96 version, like I said. This one had Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer in it, and it was decent. It was all right. So this film is that came out in 1979. It's called The Prophecy, and its main character is played by one of the main characters is played by Talia Shire, and she plays the character of Maggie. She's also played in such films as Rocky. She also played in The Godfather. And she played in a movie called The Landlady from 1998. Now, I have not seen that one. But she was, of course, she was fantastic as Adrian in Rocky. And she was fantastic in The Godfather. Fantastic. And the movie also stars Robert Foxworth, who plays the character of Rob. And he played in the TV movie Ants. And he also played in the TV movie Death Moon, and he played in Damien, The Omen 2. Now, I've seen Ants. Now, I've seen Omen 2. Have not seen Death Moon. And apparently, when I looked it up to see what it was, apparently Death Moon was a werewolf movie. That was a made-for-TV werewolf movie. So, my interest is piqued in this film, and I may have to check this one out. And this film also stars Armand Assante, who plays the character of Jason Hawkes. He also played in such films as Gotti from 1996. He also played in American Gangster. And he was the bad guy in 1995's Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. So, Gotti was good, American Gangster was good, Judge Dredd, it left a little bit to be desired. It was a good, Sylvester Stallone film, but not one of his better ones. All right, so with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into the trailer for 1979's The Prophecy. Here we go.
Rob? Vic, what are you doing here?
Listen to me. This paper company, Pitney Mills Paper Company, bought the timber rights to 100,000 acres of forest in Maine. The Indians claim the land is theirs. I'm a doctor. And you know how to deal with human beings. The Indians are angry, and so's the lumber company. Everybody's ready to kill each other.
People start disappearing, and the Indians spread the word that they were taken by Katahdin. That's one of their legends.
I'm here to study the environment.
My people are violently ill, and this has nothing to do with alcohol. My people are fishermen. Their lives are clean.
I've seen children born dead, born deformed.
The end of this forest is the end of my people.
Is that from Mercury?
It was created by man, and it will mindlessly, mercilessly kill every living thing it meets.
All right, there was the trailer for The Prophecy. The plot for this film is a government health inspector is dispatched to assess the damage a logging company is causing to a patch of forest claimed by Native Americans. And then he comes face to face with true terror, wreaking havoc in the woods. Now, this was one of those kind of like a throwback to the 50s where you had nuclear bomb or nuclear war that caused a creature to grow to mass size and just started eating people and that kind of thing. This is kind of a throwback to those type fields because what we are dealing with in this film is a mutant bear that is at least 15 feet tall. But it doesn't look like a bear. I mean, he doesn't. He looks like all different kinds of animals. But anyways, it was a fantastic film. The budget for this film was estimated at $8 million. And when it was released in the box office in theaters, it grossed $18,389,402. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good jump there. They made $10 million profit off of that. Well, a little over $10 million. It's essentially a mystery film with a creature feature added addition. A perfectly watchable film and looks great. Practical effects are cool in this film. Memorable story. Though bit of a lackluster finale, but you know, the use of practical effects in here was fantastic. I don't think it would have worked if you would have had to use CGI, because they would have had to use, if they had it back then, they would have had to use a lot of CGI. So practical effects was the best way to go, in my opinion. Great expansive wilderness scenes, and effective score added to the film by Leonard Rossman. Leonard Rosenman did the musical score for this film, which was excellent. Minimal gore. There wasn't a lot of gore in this film, but the tone of the film is intense and serious with a violent undercurrent that is more implied than expressive and adds to some well-mounted terror sequences. You don't see the creature a lot in the film. You see like glimpses of this and that. But that just adds to the ambiance and the intense scenes of the film. Kind of like Jaws, where you didn't see the shark until towards the end of the film. So it kind of built that tension very, very well throughout the film. This is well worth a mention and worth adding to any creature feature collection. I mean, it stood the test of time, more or less. In my opinion, it has. But it's a very good film. Like I said, there's not a lot of gore to it, but it builds tension so well. Armand Asante does an excellent job with what little bit of a role he has in this film. Um, Talia Shire is fantastic as always. You can tell when she is truly terrified in this film. A lot of times, you can see somebody in a film and they look, they're supposed to be terrified, but they don't really look terrified. I mean, it's just their acting's subpar. But Talia Shire, incredible. She's an incredible actress. Uh, the creature in this film is actually played by Kevin Peter Hall. Now, Kevin Peter Hall also played other 80s creatures, such as the Predator from Predator 1 and Predator 2. He also played Bigfoot in Harry and the Hendersons. And then in early 80s, he played the alien in the film Without Warning. So he has a pretty good career right there. Horror icon Stephen King is particularly fond of this film. Talia Shire's involvement in this film meant that Sylvester Stallone had to rewrite the final scenes in Rocky 2 so she could portray her role in this film. That's interesting. That's kind of like William Forsythe that I just talked about yesterday in in Stone Cold, where he was doing Stone Cold, but also trying to film Out for Justice with Steven Seagal. Same thing here with Talia Shire. Uh, let's see, Tom McLaughlin, who worked as a mime on this film, later went on to become a successful writer and producer and director himself. He directed Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, which is one of my favorite Friday the 13th films. And he wrote and produced Fairy Tale, a True Story in 1997. Richard Dysart, who plays the character of Isley in this film, starred in another monster movie 3 years after this one, when he played a role in John Carpenter's The Thing. So he didn't stray very far away from monster movies. But I mean, it's John Carpenter. Who wouldn't want to play in a John Carpenter film? Sorry, yeah, I'll sign me up. But this was a great film. We see in this film that whatever, it doesn't really, I don't think it ever comes out and just shows it. Or maybe it does. Maybe, I think it does. Chemicals that the lumber company is putting on the lumber that they cut down is what's causing all the problems. It has leaked into the water supply. The animals drink from the water. There you go. That causes this. But the Native Americans seem to believe it's some kind of Native American god that is taking revenge for those that have polluted and ruined the forest and the area where the Native Americans raised their families. So this was a pretty good horror film. Like I said, it's not real gory. The gore is going to come later on in some of the other films that we talk about. Believe me, it's coming because I'm a gore hog. So, I had to get a swig of something to drink there. But this was a great film. If you've never seen this film before, definitely check this one out. Like I said, it is a great addition to any creature feature collection. Okay, it is, in my estimation, which I do have it. It is a must-have. If you're going to have a creature feature collection, you need this film. You got to have this film in it. So with that being said, we're going to end the video here. Thank you all so much for tuning in and checking out the second episode of Mikey's Saturday Nightmares. Now, the video at the start of this episode is number 2 out of the 3. Now, next week will be the third one, and then I will put up a way for you to vote on which one is your favorite one, and then that'll be the one that I stick with. I'll let the voting run from next Saturday till the next Saturday, and then I'll premiere the video that we are going to stick with throughout the rest of the time that we do the Mikey Saturday Nightmare show. So, you got this week, and then, the one this week, and then there's one more next week, and then we'll vote next week. And then we'll stick with whatever we get. Like I said, the one that I did for the first episode is probably my favorite one right now. This one was pretty cool. The one that I did for this episode was pretty cool. But I still like the first one. But anyways, it's up to you guys. It's clearly and plainly up to you guys. So, that being said, I'm going to end the video here. Tune in tomorrow when I do my Supernatural Sunday, and we start season 6 of Supernatural. So tune in for that. And then, like I said yesterday, starting next week, the schedule will move around a little bit. Tuesday will be Mikey's Movie Rampage. Then Thursday will be Classic Movie Buffet Theater. That has moved from Friday to Thursday. So Thursday is Classic Movie Buffet Theater. Then Saturday is Mikey's Saturday Nightmares. And then Sunday is Supernatural Sunday. So, that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow for Supernatural Sunday. And I will catch you later. Bye-bye.